All right, I wanted to talk about the Walz-Vance debate. I know in the grand scheme of things I'm a little bit late, and that's kind of my bad. I didn't even think of making a video until just today. And I also know that I'm late in the sense of, or not late, but I'm just out of order. I should be talking about the Trump-Harris debate, but that I kind of have planned a little bit. I have notes. And I can't really do that while I'm driving. This is something I can do freestyle. I don't have any notes, so I'll just talk about it as it comes. But the other one is mildly planned, so I guess I'm doing these out of order. Anyways, so one thing to get started with is, I gotta say, a big win for Vance is that the public perception of him has been able to change now. See, the left has been trying to build him up as, oh, he's weird. Oh, he's so weird. And all this dumb nonsense, because they never have anything intelligent to try to strike anyone down with. Like, they're the whole party of weird, okay? They're the whole party of, oh, guys can be girls. Oh, a trans woman is a woman. Okay, except for that dick swinging. And all this dumb nonsense. All the freaks that are in their club with the, nose piercings and blue hair and... Have you seen Project 2025? Yeah, I have. First off, it's not an actual thing that Trump's going to be doing. Second off, it's actually not that bad looking in the grand scheme of things. Third off, have you seen yourself in a mirror? But anyhow, yeah, they've been trying to build him up as weird. And I don't even know why. Why is he weird? Is he weird just because, I don't know, he has his Hillbilly Elegy or whatever it's called book that he wrote, and in it he says something about, like, humping a couch or whatever. Okay, yeah, that sounds goofy on the surface, but you think about it, it's like, that's kind of a normal teenage thing to do. When you're all, like, raging horny for no reason, you just do dumb stuff. I mean, have you not seen the movie American Pie? That was about a guy who was older than a teenager, and he fooled around with an apple pie. Like, the irony as well is, they're calling him weird over that, but it's, Walz is a lot weirder of a guy. Of course, they cover that up, though, because, he's their guy, and you can't make him look bad. But, he's the one that wants to put tampons in the boys' bathroom because a trans person might go in there. What was that? What is that? Trans man? Trans boy? I guess not even a man. If it's in grade school, trans boy, actually a girl. You want to put that crap in the bathrooms, though. That makes sense. Or, how about the time that he had to have his stomach pumped in 95 because he drank too much, let's say, male horse DNA, if you follow my drift. Which, just the idea of that is absolutely disgusting. Who would want to... First, who wants to even drink that? Second off, how do you end up drinking that much that it's to the point that you need to get your stomach pumped? That's absolutely disgusting. I don't know how he ever made it past that either. How do you have something disturbing like that happen in your life and you're able to move past it and become governor and now potential VP? Like, what? God, Democrats are all about extremely failing up. I mean, God, it's like your options are either you're a Republican and you're a normal person and you want normal things and small government and all that, and you work hard for what you get, or you're a Democrat and you're an absolute freak and you believe in the most insane things, but at the same time, it's easy street. You get to just fail up. Look at Biden. Absolute failure. Plagiarizer, racist, all this. Major failure. And yet, look, made it to president somehow. Made it to VP first, then to president. I mean, he had both positions. Like, geez. I mean, somehow, supposedly, Trump lost to that loser, too. Like, and what I'm saying about Trump is he's actually not a loser. He's built businesses up. He's had an illustrious career. He was a TV host of an extremely popular show. He was president once and legitimately won on his own merits and stuff. And he lost, quote unquote, to this senile failure. Like, okay. But that's the Democratic ticket. You believe in all kinds of weird stuff. You're probably a Satanist and you're definitely going to hell. But hey, life's on easy street for you. Hey, did you drink all that horse stuff? That's okay. We'll pretend it never happened. Here you go. You're a governor now. Like, what? But anyways, yeah, talk about weird. And then what else is weird about him? I mean, he doesn't look that weird. He looks pretty normal. I mean, his eyes are a little bit weird. It looks like he has eyeliner on. I'm not sure if he does. If he does, okay. I hate to use their phrase, but that is kind of weird. But maybe he just has dark eyelashes. I don't know. But everything else is normal. His style is normal. His face is normal. All that stuff's pretty normal. You know, he also has a normal nuclear traditional family with his wife and 2 kids. Like, I don't know what's so weird about him, according to the left. But anyhow, these debates were a great opportunity for Vance to show, like, hey, this is who I am. I'm not a weirdo, as the leftist media would try to make you believe. And it's like, the left couldn't do anything about it. It was, first off, the debate was on their networks, again, just like the Trump one. You know, the Trump one was on CBS. This one was on, I don't know what this one was on, actually. I think it was CBS again, right? So it's their networks, and it's just live, and everybody's watching it, and it's like, what are you going to do now? Nothing. You can't call him weird now. Everybody just saw that he's normal. If anything, in the debates, Walz looked weird. He kept having his weird big eyes. He kept having his dumbfounded moments. I mean, I hate to say that somebody won, because at the end of the day, the whole point of debates, whether it's presidential or vice presidential, is it's to help the public learn about you. It's to help make the country learn about you and have a more informed decision on why they're going to choose who they're going to choose. You know, winning means that it's a battle and one of you needs to do better than the other. Like it's a rap battle or something. Oh yeah, you won. You had the tighter rhymes. You had more bars. Yeah. When really nobody should win. It should always be a tie. You're just telling people who you are. And for the VP, they're not only are they telling them who they are, but they're supposed to kind of work as like a hype man or a wingman or whatever for their president that they're the vice of, you know. Try to pump them up, talk about indirectly, you know, kind of just talk about the policies, but obviously it would be the president's policies. So you talk about those and what maybe say what we plan on doing, you know. But anyways, this debate really was a huge win for Vance, like in every regard. One, he crushed it. I mean, he was very articulate. He was quick on his feet. That's something I do not have. I suck on my feet. Like, I do these things. It's kind of on my free. Almost all of my T4Casts are freestyle. But this is different. I'm basically talking to myself. Like I say, I'm in my car. I'm driving. I'm on the highway. It's dark. No one can see me. I'm just talking to myself. So no big deal. But to be able to do this in front of cameras and the moderators and even another person, like he's standing there with Walz, I would suck. I wouldn't be able to think. I'd be all jammed up and, I don't know. And, like, he was just snappy. They'd say something dumb, and he'd, boom, right there with the response. Like, there was one part that was perfect. You know, he mentioned, what is it, Ohio or something is full of Haitian immigrants, Haitian illegals or whatever. And, of course, the stupid moderators try to do their dumb fact-checking. The fact check is that, or we have to fact check that, whatever they said. You know, they go and say some nonsense. They're not illegals. They are here legally, blah, blah, blah. And then after that's when Vance kind of interrupts. He's like, hold up. All right. And he says, first off, I thought you weren't going to be doing fact checking. Now, of course, all the losers and morons on the left, they jumped on that. They're like, oh, look, he doesn't want to be fact checked because that means he's going to be called out for his lies. No, idiots. What it is it's bias. Did they ever fact check Walz? No. Did they ever fact check Harris? No. So he was just saying that I thought this debate we're going to be clear of that, and you weren't going to be trying to call me out for stuff that I say that you don't agree with. And here you are already doing it. But anyways, he followed it up with actually fact-checking their fake fact-check with real fact-checks. Because he said, okay, here's the situation. Those people that you are claiming are legal, they're not legal. There's an app. You download the app on your phone, you fill out a few things, and boom, now you have temporary citizenship or whatever it is. Temporary, I don't know, I don't think it's citizenship, but temporary something, temporary green card or something. So he's like, yeah, that doesn't make them not illegal. Just because Kamala has this app out there that she can just he said, wave her magic wand and poof, now you're a citizen. He's like, that's not how it works. And he knew the app, too. Like, I don't know what it's called, but he knew it off the top of his head. It's like 3 letters and 2 numbers or something. It's like GCI 15 or something. He knew it. And it was like, damn, boy. There you go. Know your stuff for no reason. I mean, he probably was planning on getting fact-checked when he said that, so maybe that's why he had that ready to go. But, yeah. So he basically shut them down. Like, they tried. They do their dumb fact check, and then he's trying to interject, and they're being difficult, but he's really forcing the interjection. In a polite way, he's being respectful, but he's like, hold on, give me a second, let me just explain why I said what I said, and he forces his way through. And then after he said that, they're trying to say, okay, well, we have a lot to get through. We have a lot of stuff to get to. And, like, that's all they had. Then after they were like, I guess we don't have anything else to say. We can't fact check that because, everybody can look this up now. And now if we fact check it, we're clearly lying when people are like, yo, I just downloaded that app. What are you talking about? He wasn't wrong. So that was pretty cool. Like, yeah, F you, idiots. I hate the fact checkers because the fact check is not ever correct. They call it fact check, but really what it really is, we claim we don't like disinformation, but we don't like it when disinformation means fact and truth. We love disinformation when it's coming from us because that's all we do is lie and gaslight. So, yeah, we need to fact check, which means we have to fill it up with lies so that then we can try to fool the average citizen. Don't tell them the truth. What's the matter with you? Ugh. So it was just cool. Like, they had nothing after that. He shut them down and it was like, yeah, F you. Don't fact check me, mother effer, because you don't know what you're talking about. I do. You're a couple of idiots just moderating this thing. A couple of leftist idiots moderating this thing where I'm actually out there learning about our country and I know what I'm talking about. So anyways, yeah, he just dominated. Walz half the time was all like big-eyed. He was weird. I hate saying weird because that's the stupid phrase that the stupid leftists use, but he was just goofy looking the whole time. It's almost like they said, a deer in headlights. Anytime a question came his way, it was like his response, I wasn't ready. Why are you talking to me? One part was actually very surprising because, the Democrats, Walz is their boy. He's on their ticket. But they actually, did they fact check him twice? I can't remember. I think, yeah, they fact checked him. And, of course, he gave some bullcrap answer, so then they circled back like, so what's your response? And it was about him at Tiananmen Square. They said, so there was reports that you were at Tiananmen Square during the Tiananmen Square incident, but there's been evidence that proves that you were actually elsewhere on that date, so why did you say this, and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, he pulls a Kamala, and he does like this whole runaround, useless, pointless, worthless answer that tells you nothing. I've been to China many times, and I have visited Tiananmen Square so many times throughout my life, and, I'm always a pretty busy guy, especially been in politics and stuff, and, I guess I wasn't in China at that time, but I thought I was. I might have been at an earlier time. I don't know, blah, blah, just going on for, like, his whole 2 minutes with nonsense, and then after when he was done, they were like, so what's your verdict again on you being at Tiananmen Square when you weren't? And he was like, I just misspoke. That's all. I confused the dates. I misspoke. But it was like, wow. You guys are actually being semi, let's focus on that unbiased. Like, you asked him let's say a tough question instead of all this softball crap that you usually do. You actually asked him about, like, a lie. You didn't try to cover up for it. You actually asked about it. And then when he gave you a brain-dead answer, you actually called him out for giving a brain-dead answer. Like, that is not something we've seen in a long time. Kamala gives brain-dead answers all the time, and they act like, oh my God, that was the most inspirational speech ever. You know what she said? She said, we have to be unburdened by what was burdened by what has been burdened, but unburdened with burdens, because burdening your burdens is not a burdening burden, and you don't want to burden burdens with burdens, so you got to unburden what has been burdened with burdens. And it was just so riveting. Best speech I've ever heard. It made so much sense, told me a lot. Oh my God. And for once, they were like, yo, what's up, boy? You didn't give me an answer. You told me all about how you visit China and that you're the governor of Wisconsin or whatever, Michigan, wherever, which I already know. how about you answer the question? And he was like, oh okay, I misspoke. I mean, that was probably the only cool thing they did, but still, it was nice to see. You know, especially after how they ganged up on Trump. So it's 3-on-1. And yeah, he still won. Again, I hate to say it, there's a winners and losers, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, the 3-on-1, all the bets were stacked against him, and he still was like, I got this, F you. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about Walz and Vance. So, yeah. I think the other thing that was pretty cool, too, about this debate, or at least how Vance approached it, is it was very, like, cordial and professional. It was almost like how they were back in the day with JFK's days. You know, how everyone was like, oh, I recognize my opponent is very intelligent, and he's been in politics for, 35 years, and he's gained a lot of skills and lots of knowledge, but he does make this point that I would have to say I do not agree with. This is my position. You know, it was almost like back to that. Like right now, our debates, you know, we're used to debates that it's just kind of like yelling and people talking crap, especially if it's Trump, and it's funny, and it kind of works, but it was nice to have something professional. You know, Vance was pretty professional. You know, he I don't remember things offhand, but, you know, whenever he had something they disagreed with, he kind of just stated why he disagreed. He didn't, like, go on attacks. He kept it pretty professional at the beginning, at the end, you know. And I think by default, Walz was semi-professional as well, only because Vance was professional. So, like, he couldn't go on an extreme offensive while Vance is just being kind of sweet, because then he just looked like a huge dick. So he has to kind of be cordial. Like, there was so many times Vance would say something and Walz would be, well, for the most part, I do agree with that. But then there's also this that I think. Blah, 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 blah. So that was kind of cool. I mean, in a way, it was almost, the debate was actually almost kind of boring just because nothing really happened. You know what I mean? But that's how it should be. I mean, politics is supposed to be like C-SPAN. It's supposed to be boring. The Trump came along and made it kind of fun. Like, you want to watch his rallies and stuff, but it's supposed to be boring. And this one kind of was. It wasn't too bad because Walz was such an idiot. Maybe if we had a more competent Democrat VP, it would have been boring. Two smart guys just casually talking about how they disagree with one another. I've been like, oh my God, this is dry. But you have Walz, who's just an idiot. Like I said, anytime he's asked a question, no, I wasn't ready. He didn't really say that, but that's how he looked. So that was the only, like, entertaining factor there. Kind of like the time that the fly landed on Pence's hair. That was the entertainment factor for that one. Anyhow, though, I don't think we really learned anything from, well, either A, about either one of these guys, really, and B, about anyone's positions. Like, I don't think we learned anything about any of either of the VP's positions. I guess their positions don't really matter. They're only the VP. Their positions would only matter if something happened and they became the president. But otherwise, we didn't learn anything about them. They really didn't pump anything up or bring anything new to light about their boss, I guess, their boss's position. So you didn't really learn too much, but you got to kind of at least see these guys' personalities. Because for the most part, nobody really knew anything about Vance or Walz. I mean, geez, I never heard of Walz before. I never heard of Vance before. When Trump chose Vance, it was like, who the F is this guy? Like, we all thought for sure he'd be choosing, like, one of the heavy hitters, you know, Ramaswamy or, what's his name? DeSantis. Or we thought he'd pull, like, a wild card and put, like, RFK Jr. as his VP once RFK dropped out, you know? So we all thought it'd be something like that. And then it's just this J.D. Vance guy, and it's like, who? But over time, he's been proving himself to be pretty cool, actually. You know, like that one time he was trolling Kamala. Remember, Kamala said something stupid once, like, say it to my face. And so he showed up at the airport that she was going to be landing at and was there to kind of try to say it in her face. Like, hey, what's up, Kamala? Remember you challenged me? Well, here I am. I can say it to your face. Of course, she was a little baby and, like, ran off and got onto the plane or whatever, but he still showed up. So that was kind of cool. This debate made him seem even cooler. So it's like, all right. And then also, I mean, one thing, I guess, that you could learn from the debates is you get to see both these guys and realize a little bit about them. Like, I mean, geez, they would be second in line to the presidency if something happened to the president. So it's like, out of these two options, who's the way more sane, stable person to be president? Like, obviously, J.D. Vance. Somehow the Democrats keep managing to choose someone worse and worse and worse. And I don't understand. You had Biden, who still is, pretty terrible. And yet Kamala, I've always thought would be so much worse than him. I was like, I don't know how this is possible, but if she was president, she would be so much worse than Biden. And now here she is, front runner, and yet she chose someone that I feel like would be even worse than her. Walz? He'd be even worse than her. The guy has like no emotional stability. He's all over the place all the time. He's psychotic looking. He's done weird things like with the horses back in the day. I mean, this guy is a very unsolid option for VP, never mind to make it to president. And mind you, Kamala's the front runner. She's terrible too. But somehow he's worse. It's like, how do these Democrats keep one-upping their terrible factor? Jeez. So anyways, the point is, though, is if something happened to the president, who's a better one to take over? J.D. Vance or Walz? Yeah, J.D. Vance. Walz would be absolutely worthless. Worthless. Jeez, at least Kamala, she's terrible, very worthless. She better not win. She doesn't deserve to win. She shouldn't win. She's a bad choice for the country, but at least she was VP, so she kind of has some experience in the White House and stuff, you know? This doofus has nothing. He's just some loser who runs some Midwestern state terribly at that, just like all the other Democrat governors, you know? Whatever the one in New York is, Gavin Newsom, you know, etc. But yeah, he'd be even more terrible. So that's another thing you get to kind of learn, like, oh, okay, I guess I feel confident if something happened to Trump and what the heck, Vance took over. I'm getting confused over here. I'm wanting to say Walz, then I'm thinking Pence, then I'm going to say Pauls, and I'm like, what? No. Ugh. So yeah. What else? I thought there was one other thing I thought of. Let's see. Walz, the policies, talking about stuff. I don't know. There was another point, but I went on such a tangent before that I forgot. All I do know, though, like I said, is I hate to say somebody won, but if you want to count one of them as a winner, Vance absolutely destroyed Walz. Absolutely destroyed him, without a doubt. Which is good. It's good for Trump. It's good for the ticket. It's good for the country. Good for Republicans, etc. Because that's the other thing, too. The Democrats are always trying to paint Republicans as if they're dumb. They think that they're so smart because, a lot of us went to college. Yeah, you went to college and majored in something not worthless. That came out stupid sounding. I was going to say something nonsensical, and then I changed it to worthless, but then it sounded like not worthless. No, you majored in something absolutely worthless, like women's studies, gender studies, some dumb crap like that. Art history. That doesn't make you smart because you have a worthless degree and you're living on welfare. You know? And Vance was able to prove that. Like, hey, I'm just a normal guy and I'm way smarter than your stupid contender. So, I don't think it's going to switch the narrative, but hey, could be a start. I don't even know why Republicans are seen as dumb. I mean, I guess I do, because a lot of them, they'd be like, oh, it's them down south hicks, them Western Virginians, you know, the ones living in that Blue Ridge Mountains. They're the Republican and they stupid. They incest, they cannibalistic. But it's like, okay, well, that's like a weird fringe portion of people. There's also plenty of smart ones. Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, J.D. Vance. Plenty of smart ones. Sort of Elon Musk. Me. They're not all dumb. Just like not all of your libs are smart either. Sure, there's plenty of you without the degrees. I know a few that have no degrees. I know some that didn't even graduate high school. And I feel like, yeah, that's kind of fitting that you choose to be a Democrat. Because you're dumb. And the Democrats are dumb despite what they think of themselves. But anyways, yeah. Going on a weird tangent again, back to that debate. So, overall, Vance dominated, and it was just good for him. I know there's something else. I keep trying to stall to remember it, but I'm forgetting now, so I guess I'm just going to end it here. It kind of feels really short, but I guess it is what it is. So, yeah, thanks for checking this out. Until next time, I said see ya.